Hello farmers and welcome back to Goldcrest Valley. It is time to harvest the sunflowers, but we're going to hire someone to do it for us. Frank, Francine, or whoever. Park the 9RT, I guess like right about here would be good. Beacons can be turned off, we don't need those because we're off the road. Combine's up and running, let's go ahead and get ourselves a worker. And let's see here, create jobs, field work. We are down over here now, so field position like that. And go that general direction, like, nope. Right there, do we get it? No. Come on, arrow. Why is this flickering on me? Stop flickering. Yeah, that's not good enough. It's going to go off at a weird angle, I think. Why is it doing that? Thank you. I think we're all set there. 2 headlands ought to be good. Overlap, 7%. Yeah, you shouldn't run into anything. Generate cores. And should be good to go. We are harvesting ourselves some sunflowers. Shouldn't take them too long to get the job done. And hire ourselves a worker. And looks like we got Franco harvesting the sunflowers today. I'll come back and get you when you're full. Hopefully I will anyways. What I need to do is I need to grab the 8230, which is over here. Because we got some more bales to sell. And we're going to go ahead and sell them where we always sell them at. Not into the barn anymore. The barn just causes too many issues when I try to sell the bales. They could go flying. So for the dollar less, we'll sell them up here. These are the soybean straw bales. Go ahead and sell these. Yeah, I need to go ahead and cut the grass because I did not get any done in between episodes. Got a little bit too busy, so we'll be doing that today. Making some hay, and of course the big grass field, we're just going to put it to a swath, and of course bring that up to the BGA to be compressed in, covered on up, and made into silage. Of course, we got our lovely baling trailer that we got last episode, so this is ours, not rented. Make our life a little bit easier around the farm as we move along. I was going to say get me over 300,000, but I think it's going to be a little bit short. A little bit short. Not that it matters, because by the time I lease the mowers, well, we'll be back under 300,000. And the baling trailer probably should be brought on down to the cow barn, because I'll need it to pick up the hay bales. So that can come with us all the way. No sense leaving up at the sheep pen. Actually, I don't think I even got room for it at the sheep pen. With all the hay bales that we got in there of the clover. Let's scooch out here. Let's go back to the cow barn. We'll drop this off and we'll go get ourselves the mowers. We'll cut the small grass field at least. And let that sit up just for a little bit before we ted it and then windrow it back up. The baler is sitting over there. Starting to feel like I could probably use another tractor on the farm, but we really haven't seen any tractors for sale in a while. So maybe sometime through the winter we'll get lucky. I would like to trade in this 8230. I have been saying that for a while now. Just with the amount of hours that are on it, I mean, we're getting close to 80 hours on the tractor. And plus, I'm looking for a tractor with a little bit more horsepower. But, you know, seeing that I could probably use another tractor on the farm, if we do find one with more horsepower, of course we'll go ahead and purchase it if we got the money for it. And we'll probably keep the 8230. For what I last checked on it, we're not going to get much for selling the 8230 anyways, so we might as well keep it on the farm for occasions like today where I could use an extra tractor. We do have the Massey Ferguson, but that horsepower on that is just a little bit on the low side. That's for like maybe fertilizing, weeding, which we're going to get to a little bit later on as well. All right, let's go up to the store and we'll lease the mowers. You know which ones by now. We've done it over and over and over again. Sometime, I should say hopefully at this point, we will be getting away from cutting grass to make silage. We'll go ahead and we'll be doing corn chaff. But we need a forage harvester for that. someday maybe one will come up for sale. All right, let me just double check what I got leased. I shouldn't have, yeah, just the water tankers leased, so we can lease 2 items, which are the Kubota mowing set that we're going to go ahead and grab. And of course, lease that. And then before we lease that, we got to put those on so we can do a swath later on and lease that. All right, we are good to go for cutting some grass. Back on up here. Perfect. So being November, of course, this is probably the last month that we can cut it before winter sets in and the grass kind of dies off a little bit. And my worker has a full grain tank. Sorry, car. That's my bad. I mean, I don't obey stop signs here or driving over curbs. We do that whenever we can. Where is the combine? Okay, so there's the combine. Let me go ahead and teleport to the 9RT, which is right there. You're full already without just barely doing a headland, so this is going to be a pretty good yield. I forgot what we had for a score on the field for yield potential. We can take a look at it in just a second. And you're probably going to start taking off once we start unloading. Which is fine. We should be able to keep up. Hopefully it all unloads before we get to the corner. And as I said, everything will be going into our silo for storage. Some flowers will be sold in February. Nope. Keep the pipe on out there, sir. Franco. Thank you. Make sure we get it as empty as we possibly can. Right next to the 8230 would be nice because I can just hop right out and climb on in. Oh, look at that. We are empty. I'll leave the 9RT running. We're fine. Use a little bit of gas. Or I should say diesel. Someone will correct me in the comments if I don't say diesel. Make sure those are where they need to be. That's good. Lower that down. Unfold it. Turn that on. And as I said, this grass here will be turned over and made into hay for the cows and possibly the sheep as well. Whoever needs it, they can have it. I didn't check on the cow. Did I check on the cows here in November? I don't know if we got any cows that are ready to be sold. I think we sold them in October. Could have been this month. So I'll have to have a double check on that in just a moment. It's not going to take us long to get this grass field cut. Yeah, if we get ourselves a forage harvester during the off season, because we will have the money to do so if one comes up for sale, we will take the big grass field and probably convert that over to corn. Well, actually, we will have a big corn field where we got the soybean bales from. That field, if I remember correctly with the crop rotation, will be corn for next year. So we can always plant something in the field behind us to whatever we like, depending on crop rotation. I just want to get away from, it feels like I cut grass a lot here in Goldcrest Valley. But of course, through our first, 5 years now we've been here in Goldcrest. For the first 5 years, this cutting grass and making silage and selling it. And now, of course, we're doing the whole process of making methane with the silage and the BGA, which then goes in to make power, which is taking forever. But yeah, it's made us a lot of money here in Goldcrest Valley. We wouldn't be where we are today without cutting some grass and making some silage out of it. But we could definitely afford, if we get a forage harvester, be beneficial to us to change that grass field in front of us to something else. As to what I could put in there, well, it all depends. We'll have to wait until we do the winter rush, I guess. The winter season where we just sit there and pretty much do nothing other than sell some crops. Okay, Franco is making his way back around, so I probably should go over and unload Franco. I mean, it's probably not a full combine, but he will be full kind of soon. And I don't want them full when they're facing the wrong direction. So we'll leave the mowers and everything running in the 8230 because that's what a farmer would do. Yeah, just let it run all by itself, no one in the cab, we're all good. Let's get ourselves ready here. And then I probably will hire ourselves a worker to drive on back to the silo once we get a full trailer's worth. And of course, we've been kind of waiting for a bigger trailer to come along in the sale page as well for a while, but no luck there. We seem to have our spurts from the used section of the store to where it seems like we get lucky month after month, and then we go a long time in between of finding anything that we're looking for. Alright, so you know what? 88% full I think is good enough. Let's see if I can get myself a worker to drive this all the way back to the silo from here. I think from here it may have a hard time. I need to go here, create job, go to, oh, it's actually already posted there, so let's see if they can do that. Not really sure which way they're going, but you know what, if they're going, they're going. It's fine by me. All right, back into the 8230. Turn ourselves around here. Of course, it will seem kind of weird that we're switching all the way from grass to whatever. If we get, I keep saying, if we get a forage harvester, really haven't seen one for sale. I don't think in this series yet. After we get ourselves a nice baling trailer, we got ourselves a good baler. We got the whole setup to do bales. And I'm trying to get away from doing grass, but trying to make our job here in Goldcrest Valley just a little bit easier. Probably should bring the map up so I can see when my worker... where is my worker? My worker is in the village doing nothing. And for some reason, I don't know, they got here. There may have been a car here probably they ran into. I think it would just be easier if I just go ahead and drove back and dump this into the silo myself. You know the saying, if you want a job done right, do it yourself, or something like that. Not that I do it that much better, but let me go dump this 21,566 liters of sunflowers into the silo, and then maybe I'll hire a worker to drive on back to the field, hopefully, so I can get back to mowing. Alright, so with the sunflower dumped into the silo, I actually got a worker to drive back to the corner of the cornfield that we did last episode. Couldn't get him to actually drive to the sunflower field. They were blocked by something. But by the time I get this field mowed, they should have arrived. And the combine is still rolling and cutting up some sunflowers, so it's not full yet. So it should be a good sunflower harvest, and sunflower sells for a decent price. I think it's like $700 or $800 per 1,000. So if we get ourselves somewhere around 30,000 liters of sunflower, that's going to be a pretty good payday come February. But of all the things that we have purchased, there's still a lot of things I would like to either upgrade or we still need on the farm. So even though the money is starting to pile back on into the bank account, I could spend it very quickly. As for land, I don't see us buying any more land for the farm. We got plenty to keep ourselves rather busy. Are you done actually harvesting that field? Does not look like it. Or are you full and I kind of missed the notification that you were? Probably full and I missed the notification. Can I get you on one more pass? Probably not. Was pretty close. And looks like the 9RT is back over to the corner of the cornfield at least. So let me finish up this little piece of grass here. Then we'll go unload the combine. So Franco can get back to work on cutting up the sunflower. Do have a little piece of grass up here I want to get. Alright, so the mowers I'm done for now. But we want to go ahead and turn this grass over. Actually, you know what? Probably what I should be doing. Alright, let me turn you into swath dropping. Front mower should be all set. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a worker to mow this grass for me. And I could use the Massey Ferguson. The Massey Ferguson should have enough horsepower to take care of the tedding and everything else that we need to do. So let me get myself a worker for this one here. Create job. Go to course play. There we go. Field position is here. And open course play. Number of headlands, 0. I just want them to go up and down the field. Alright, and I will turn on the mowers myself. Make sure it's going in a nice little swath, which it is. Wait, did you just lift up the front mower? Or is that something I did? Why did the worker lift up the front mower for? You're not going to do it again on me, are you? That was weird. Alright, but they're working out fine now. That's all good. Let's hop into the 9RT. I'm going to go unload the combine. Franco is waiting patiently. Yeah, if we just had a bigger grain trailer, it'd be kind of good, as you've seen, doing the cornfield and now the sunflower field. I'm making trips back and forth, and I got workers waiting for me to get there to unload them. If we had a trailer like double the size, that'd be just about perfect for us. Yep, Franco, I'm coming. I see your beacons are on. Be kind of cool if they had like radio conversations in the game. So instead of a message in the upper right hand corner saying, oh, your combine's full, if someone came over like a radio system, it said, hey, this is worker D in the class combine or whatever, the combine's getting full. I guess you could simplify it because they'd have a lot of different voice comms for every different combine there is. I guess they could just say, this is worker D, the combine is just about full. Alright, let me get out of Franco's way, and we should be able to get the rest of the field into our trailer. Let me just park over here, make sure I'm out of the way. Alright, now the Massey Ferguson is back at the farm, but before I bring that on down to Ted the grass on over, I do have the See and Spot weed sprayer on here, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Won't take us too long to make a few passes. And I could have waited until next year until we planted more crops and done all the fields together. But at least by doing one field now, it's just one less I have to do next year. It won't seem like a big task at that point. And this is our canola field that we planted back in August, I think it was. Crop is looking rather good. I do like how the weeds take effect in FS22. Instead of just having weeds everywhere, they're spotty. But this was, I think this was the first field right here in FS19 that I took care of weeds. I think weeds were introduced in FS17 if I'm not mistaken. But from what I remember as well, the weeds in FS17 did not affect the yield at all. But you could remove them and everything. I don't think there was a deduction in yield if you left the weeds there. Yeah, all these weeds are mature, so definitely would need a See and Spot sprayer to take care of them. And See and Spot spraying is the best way to keep your score up if you're doing precision farming. And the cost down as well, because you're not using as much herbicide. Might be able to get the field done in one more pass, but I'm guessing I probably won't. I'll have like a little bit of strip I'll have to take care of on the way back down. Yeah, I don't think the implement's wide enough to get the rest of the field. But one more trip up, and then one more trip down, and we can drop this off, and we can go turn the grass into hay. And this field is all set, all the way to harvest until next year. Now, the one thing I have never done, and I don't know if it's going to take care of it or not, if I spray the weeds out of this field, when I go to re-drill, do they regrow then? Or does this take care of the weeds for an entire year as well? I'm going to make a pass here, just to test this on out. Because if this is something I can do, like spray weeds in the wintertime, and when I go to replant in the spring, if it just said weeds are not going to be growing back, I can spray for weeds whenever after harvest and be set for a year. Kind of like when you plow a field, you're set for a year. So I'm just going to go ahead and make one pass here as a test. And see if we get any weeds growing back next year after we plant. And we'll know right away. Once we plant, I can check the field and it'll say weeds growing or not. And for what little herbicide I'm using, you know, it's a good test to kind of do, because if I could get rid of the weeds before I plant, I won't have to go into a field after the crop is growing, which I'd rather do it that way. Even with narrow tires on, I just wouldn't want to drive into a field, I think, in real life when your crops are growing, just taking a chance that you could possibly damage your crops. Vehicle running costs, more than likely one of my courseplay workers decided to repair the vehicles, which is fine. I mean, I would repair them anyways, right, at some point. Alright, our little test strip is done in this field. We'll see how that reacts next year when I plant it on up. Let's fold this on up and we'll put the seed and spot sprayer away and head on back down to the cow barn. We'll grab the tedder and turn the grass over, start making some hay. I'm pretty sure Franco is done in the combine harvesting the sunflower, so I need to tidy that up, clean up whatever he missed. Get that into the grain trailer so I can get that all cleared up and moved on out of there. And we'll see how we're doing on the grass field as well. Alright, let's hook up to the tedder. And the windrower is right next to it, so everything we need is right on down here. I do need to find a place to put these hay bales. Kind of running out of some space here, oddly enough. Before we get started on this, let's see how we doing over on the grass field. Oh yeah, they're about halfway done, so that's cool. Okay, while we let that unfold, let's jump over to the combine. Probably easier if I just got out and ran over, but we'll grab... Oh, my worker's still in there? Franco. Paying him for just sitting there. Let's grab the pieces that he missed. Which could add up to about maybe 500 liters. Actually did pretty good on the corners. Yeah, this should all fit into the grain trailer because we empty out the combine only once, and that trailer can take 2 combine loads. Not doing a good job myself on the corners. Anything on the other side of the field? Could be. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit over here actually. Let's see, one more corner to tidy up. And this is all of our crop harvested for the season. Other than the grass. Get that all in there. My worker is cutting that grass still, right? Yeah, they're coming towards us. I do believe. For a second there, I'm like, it looks like they're in the same spot when we got here. No, they're moving. And then fold the corn header in. I don't think I've actually just used a sunflower header. I always use the corn / sunflower header. I don't know if a sunflower header is cheaper than a corn / sunflower header. But I'd rather get a header that does 2 in 1. Alright, let's make this grass quickly into hay. And now with no crop in the field, it should be easier to windrow. Great demand at straw barn. Well, I just sold all the straw I had. Or at least all the straw I want to sell. Everything else I want to keep. So whatever you're offering. Wait, straw barn, do they take silage? Straw barn does take silage, but that's not a good price at all. That's a terrible price. They want 148 when everyone else is offering 180s. Do I even want to see if they were taking straw? Okay, so what is a straw barn taking? I don't know why I'm checking it because I don't have any more. Where is the soybean straw? Alright, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I don't have any. And it can't be that much better than what I was selling it for. They'll probably be done mowing that big grass field by the time I get this all tedded up. So all that grass there I'll pick up in the forage wagon and bring it on up to the BGA. I will cut a little bit more on the edges, I think. Just glad the weather's holding out for us here in November. It's a little cloudy out. Probably very hard to make hay in November with a low sun. And on a cloudy day as well. This probably wouldn't turn to hay at all. I just remember that one time in FS19 on Griffin, Indiana. I think it was actually my first year there. And I tried making hay in seasons in FS19, which is different than what it is here. If you didn't play FS19 with seasons, making hay, you just can't take a tedder and turn it and it turns into hay. You need the weather to help you to turn it into hay. And I tried making hay in November and it didn't work. The weather conditions didn't help out and I lost the whole field. Still kind of surprised a little bit that someone hasn't taken over the way making hay was in 19 over to 22, where we have to, let it sit out in the sun. The wind would help dry out the grass as well. Decomposing of the material when it's still on the field would happen. Yeah, grass would not last long on a field. If you just left it overnight, you'd lose about half of your grass. It would just decompose. I don't know why I really haven't used a worker in the past that much here in Goldcrest Valley for cutting the grass. Would make my life a little bit easier, and I could have just set them off on a worker. Then I could have gone with a forage wagon behind them and done that while they were cutting the grass. I always did it all myself. But it is satisfying seeing this tedder at work. I think it's because the way they made the material come out the back end of implements now, especially when it comes to grass work, it seems more... I don't remember that much the way it was in 19, but I know it wasn't as animated as it is now. Definitely it's throwing the grass up a lot more. Maybe I will get this field tedded before they get done mowing. So as we do know, we should get about 500,000 liters off that field of grass. And then we'll have 3 silo bunkers full of silage. I'm starting to think in December I will sell some silage instead of making it into methane. Or better yet, maybe what I should do in between episodes is kind of go over some math and figure out, you know, do I make enough from methane? Because if I make a lot more out of methane than silage, then yeah, it'd definitely be better if I go ahead and process the silage into methane and sell it then. But I will have to lease a tanker to sell the methane. I kind of forgot. Is there a place to sell the methane at? I think I looked at this before. So it doesn't show methane here. Alright, how about if I go to here? So I don't have no methane in stock? It's not showing me the ones in the production buildings? Methane, methane. Where's the methane? Methane, methane? Oh, there may not be... Oh, wait, there we go. Methane. Okay, power station, we can't... That's right. So it's about $1,000 per. And the best time to sell it is in January. Alright, so we do have a place to sell it. It's going to be about $1,000 per. Alright, so we can kind of figure this out rather quickly, I think. See if my brain is working here. So we'll do it all together. And that way you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, which I might be, because my brain's not feeling that well today to do some math, but we'll give it a shot. So we get $1,000 for methane. And let's see here. I got to go to the production building silage. So it's about an 8-to-1 ratio. We'll just kind of go that way, right? 8-to-1 ratio. So 8,000 liters giving me about 1,000 liters worth of methane. I think I'm better off selling the silage straight up. Because 8,000 liters of silage, I could easily get more than $1,000 that I would get for the methane. Because the best price is almost $200, so that's almost $1,600. So I'm taking $1,600 worth of silage to make into methane. But yes, I do get digestate with it. And if I were to sell the digestate, I get 2,000 liters out of that, or 2,500. But let's be honest, digestate we don't get nothing for. Basically, if I even have a place to even sell digestate. Digestate. Do we have a place to sell it? No, we don't. So I'm better off selling silage. I'll make more money selling silage than doing the methane. Now the question becomes, am I making actually any money by doing the electricity? I mean, I already got the buildings, so I'll probably just keep on doing it. But I think we're going ahead and we're going to sell silage straight up. We're not going through that much methane at the power plant. It's taking forever. Do I still have methane here? No, I don't. So yeah, selling silage straight up is better than making it into methane and selling it that way. Which is weird, but it's the way it is. It's just the way it is. Now, the one thing I don't know is, like I said, you know, that methane going to the power plant, we might be losing money all the way through. If I just sold silage straight up, probably be better than doing the whole power plant thing. But I did the power plant because, well, we didn't know, and I'm pretty sure there's some out there that wanted to know about the power plant. I mean, if you're playing hard economy, I would say don't get the power plant just because it takes forever to get your money back on it at the speed that we're going at. You're better off probably selling the silage straight up and getting the money that way. It's a quicker process. And of course, you don't have to spend the $250,000 and $100,000 for all the production buildings to make electricity to sell. Alright. And lower that down. Wait for the back end to lower. That takes forever on this windrower to lower down. All right, should be easier to make swaths this time because we don't actually have a crop in front of us. Yeah, so I think we'll sell a whole bunch of silage in December, get some money that way. We'll leave one bunker of silage there in case I want to make some more methane for the power plant. Well, I will make more for the power plant. It's just a matter of, will the power plant need it? How long is it going to be before the power plant runs out of methane? So selling the silage in December, that should get us about 200 grand from that. And of course we'll have some crop to sell. That usually brings us in almost 100,000, but I didn't really make that much cereal crop this year. But yeah, by the time spring comes around, if we don't buy anything, we should have $500,000, which can cover a lot of things. If anything comes up for sale, we should be able to go ahead and purchase it. I think our worker is almost done with the mowers, cutting the grass field. So that saved me about 10 minutes of work of having to cut the grass field. Now I just got to go around and pick it up with a forage wagon. That does take a little while because I got to keep going back and forth to the BGA. And I will be using the 9RT for that just because the 9RT has a little bit more horsepower. Wow, it's almost double the horsepower of the 8230. So getting up to speed and taking turns doesn't slow it down as much. But the 8230 will be busy compacting the grass as I go back and forth. So I do hope to have that done by the time next episode rolls around. So the only job we'll have the rest of the season when we come back is we'll just have to make some hay bales. And we can pick them up rather quickly now because of our baling trailer. And then it's pretty much just go to December, sell the silage, the grain, keep our eye on the store. Currently, I don't think there's anything in the store that we were looking at, right? No, everything there we either have something of. But fingers crossed this upcoming winter we get at least a couple of purchases in. I think the biggest thing I ought to be looking for is the forage wagon. Not the forage wagon, forage harvester. I talked about it enough recently. I'd rather get that than any mowers at this point. Switch over from grass work to corn work would be easier. A bigger grain trailer, preferably one I could haul with the Volvo truck. So one that has a fifth wheel grain trailer. And another tractor with about 400 horsepower. And not a tractorized one like the 9RT. Nothing wrong with the 9RT. Just looking for a bigger tractor. Alright, so just a few more swaths to make. And then I'll be bringing all that material back there to the main farm. Then coming back down here with the 9RT and the forage wagon. And I'll get that up to the BGA, get that compacted, get that all set up. And who knows, I may get real greedy in December and sell all the silage that we have instead of making any methane whatsoever. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Goldcrest Valley. But until then, have a good one.